morning. Okay, let us start the journal entries. Okay, in today's class. So I want every one of you to take down this question in your ledger book. Journalize the following transactions. Journalize the following transactions in the books of Sangeeta. In the books of Sangeeta. First transaction. Sangeeta started business with rupees 25,000 deposit in bank. With rupees 25,000 deposit in bank. Next, second, purchase goods from Neeru rupees 13,000 13,000. Third transaction, sold goods for cash rupees 14,000. Sold goods for cash rupees 14,000. Fourth transaction, sold goods worth rupees 2,000 and received check. Next, fifth transaction, purchased machine costing rupees 6,000 for cash. Next, goods returned by customers rupees 1,500 and cash refunded to him. Next, Sangeeta withdrawn rupees 3,000 for personal use. Okay, next transaction, goods returned to Neeru rupees 3,200 Okay, this is the question. Okay, I will rub the question to solve the solution. So, you can pass journal entries with the help of two systems, American system or English system. English system is also known as traditional approach. American system is the modern approach. And here I am solving journal entries. I am making journal entries with the help of what? Modern approach, that is American system. That is what? Which system? American system. Now write the format of the journal. Okay. So what is the format? Date, particulars, LF, okay, LF, debit, credit. Okay, so this is the format of the journal. Okay, journal entries in the books of Sangeeta. Journal entries in the books of Sangeeta. See, you can use any method, either English method, either traditional approach or modern approach. You can follow English system or American system. You will arrive at the same answer. Okay, you can follow any system for passing the journal entries. Now here I am following modern approach. Modern approach. Okay, with the under modern approach, with the help of accounting equation, we will solve the problem. Okay, now here, see, for assets, expenses and losses, for assets, expenses and losses, what is the rule? What is the rule? Debit increase, credit decrease. Okay, debit increase, credit decrease. Okay, and for liabilities, incomes and gains, and for capital, the rule is same. Okay, so what does the rule tells? Debit decrease, credit increase, credit increase. Okay, so this is the rule. Okay, you are all aware, I feel. For assets, expenses and losses. This is the rule. Okay, which you have to follow. Okay, now with the help of accounting equation, I will solve problems under this modern approach. You know, accounting equation is equal to what? Accounting equation equals capital plus liabilities is equal to what? Assets. Okay, capital plus liabilities is equal to what? Assets. Capital plus liabilities is equal to assets. Okay, and always assets will have which balance? Debit balance. Debit balance. For assets, always I should have what? Debit balance. Why? Because the increase in asset should be debited, right? So increase should be debited. Increase means plus. Decrease means minus. Okay, and for capital gains, for capital liabilities, incomes and gains, okay, the rule is similar. Okay, so increase should be credited, decrease should be debited. Decrease should be debited. Increase should be credited. Right? So it is vice versa. Okay, now let us take the transaction. See, under mathematics you use plus and minus, but under accountancy, in real life situations, we don't use plus and minus. What we use instead? We use debit and credit for maintaining accounts. Instead of plus and minus, we use debit and credit. Okay. Here, first transaction is Sangeeta started business with rupees 25,000 deposit in bank. Okay, Sangeeta, she has started business with what? With rupees 25,000 deposit in bank. What is happening? Sangeeta is investing money in the business. So what is happening? My cash is increasing. So cash is what? Cash is an asset. How much my cash is increasing? 25,000. Okay. And even what is happening to my capital? My capital is also increasing. Okay. My capital is also increasing. Money invested by the owner into the business is known as what? Capital. My capital balance is also what? It is increasing. So, increase in capital, liabilities, incomes and debt. Increase should be what? Credited. Increase should be, even this is increasing, right? Right plus. Increase in capital should be credited. Okay, credited. Increase in asset should be debited. Take up any transaction. It has two effects. One debit effect, one credit effect. Okay, debit effect and credit effect. So what is the transaction? First transaction, here he has not given date. Okay, I'll write date. So what should be debited? What should be debited? Cash amount. Okay, so Sangeeta, I'm sorry here. See, I should not write cash here. Sangeeta started business with bank balance with rupees 25,000 in bank. So if it was cash, Sangeeta started business with cash rupees 25,000 means I should have written cash. But she has started business how? How? She has started business. She has started business with deposit in bank. Okay, she has started business with what? With rupees 25,000 deposit in bank. My bank is also a asset. Bank is also a asset. So increase in asset should be what? Should be debited. So what is the journal entry? Bank account debit. Bank account debit. Okay. So DR stands for debit. It's an abbreviation. Okay. So to start the credit, you should leave some space and then start with 2. Okay. You should leave some space. Okay. So for example, here only if I write what it is? 2 capital account if I write, I cannot differentiate this. What is debited and what is credited easily I cannot find. Easily I cannot locate what is being credited and what is being debited. Okay, to make, okay, to locate easily. Okay, if I start by leaving some space, it will be good. Okay, easily you can locate where is the credit entry. So for the purpose of this, okay, for easy location, this they follow. You have to leave some space, then you should write capital to capital account. How much? What is the amount? 25,000. What is the narration? Business started with cash. What is the narration? Business started with cash. Okay. So this is the narration. What is narration? A brief explanation to an entry. Explanation to an entry is known as what? Narration. Okay. Always credit transaction, you have to start by leaving some space. It is a rule. It is a what? It is rule which you have to follow. And credit transaction always it should be started with what? 2. It has to be started with what? 2. Okay. Now this is the first transaction. Let me rub the board. Okay. So here. Okay. Now moving on to second transaction. Purchase goods from Neeru for rupees 13,000. Company business is purchasing goods from whom? Okay. Capital plus liabilities is equal to assets. Business is purchasing goods. Okay. So goods are assets. Goods are what? Assets. So I'll write here goods are assets. Okay. Next is business is purchasing goods from Neeru. Okay. Neeru. It is not business is not purchasing goods on cash. It is purchasing goods from Neeru. Good business purchase goods from Neeru he has given in the transaction. That means what type of purchase it is? It means a credit purchase. So what is happening to my liability? It is increasing. What is liability? Debt of the firm. Okay, is known as what? Liability. खर्च. Business का जो खर्च रहता है उसको what do we call? Liability. Debt of the firm. So I am purchasing goods. My business is purchasing goods on credit from Neeru. So what is happening to my liability? My liability is increasing. My liability is increasing. So what is happening? My liability is increasing by how much? 13,000. And what is happening to my goods? My goods are also increasing. So whenever you purchase goods, you should write the reason. You should write the event name behind these goods. Directly you cannot write goods as you were doing this in accounting equation. Okay, you cannot write goods here. You have to classify. Okay, you should write the reason behind the goods. You should write the event name. Okay, what have you done? Goods. You have purchased. The business has what it has done? It has purchased. So you should write purchase. Okay, so you have purchased goods here. Okay, so what is happening to my asset? It is increasing. Increase in asset should be what? Debit increase. So I am debiting. I am debiting. Debit increase. I am debiting. So liability, my liability is also increasing. So increase in liability should be what? Increase in liability should be credited. Debit decrease, credit increase. Increase in liability should be what? Should be credited. So what should be my journal entry? Purchases account debit. Purchases account debit to Neeru account. Okay. What should be credited? Neeru account. To start credit entry, I should leave some space. What is the value of the goods? 30,000. 30,000. Okay. Write the narration. Purchase goods on credit. Okay. What is narration? Explanation to an entry. Okay. Purchase goods on credit. Okay. So this is the narration. Okay. Now moving on to the third journal entry, the third transaction. What is the third transaction? Now moving on to the third transaction. Third transaction is sold goods for cash rupees 14,000. Sold goods for cash. Business has sold goods. So what is happening? My cash is increasing. Cash is a asset. Okay. So what is happening to my goods? Goods are also what? Goods are also asset. What is happening to my goods? My goods are declining. What is happening to my goods balance? My goods balance is declining. Okay. So here increase in asset should be what? Increase in asset should be debited. Decrease in asset should be credited. Okay, I cannot write goods here. What I should do? I should write the event name behind the goods. What is the event name behind the goods? Okay, it is sale. Business has sold goods. Okay, so what do I write here? Sale. What do I write here? Sale. Okay. So what should I do? What should I debit? Cash. Cash account debit. Cash account debit to sale account. Cash account debit to sale account. What is the value of the goods which is being sold? The value of the goods is for rupees 40,000. So I will write here 40,000. Okay. Hope you all are understanding. Okay. Now moving on to the next. I will rub off this. You have to continue as there is no sufficient space. I am rubbing this. Okay. So next is okay. Next is here moving on to the fourth transaction. Okay, sold goods worth rupees 2000 and received check. Okay, business has sold goods and it has received what? Check. It has not received cash. It has received check. So what is happening? The bank balance is increasing. Bank is a asset. Bank is what? It is a asset. And what is happening to my goods? My bank balance is increasing. What is happening to my goods? My goods are declining. But I cannot write goods here. What should I write? I should write the event name. I should write the reason. Okay. What is the event name? Sale. What is the event name? Sale. Okay. So, bank is also an asset. Sale of goods is also an asset. Increase in asset should be debited. Decrease in asset should be credited. So, you should debit bank and credit what? Sale. So, fourth journal entry. Okay. So, bank account debit to sale account. Bank account debit to sale account. Okay, how much was the value of the goods which is being sold? Rupees 2000. Rupees 2000. Okay, now I will write the narration. Always credit entry you should start by leaving some space. Okay, goods sold and received check. Goods sold and received check. Okay. Now moving on to the next transaction. Fifth transaction. Okay. What is the fifth transaction? Purchased machine costing rupees 6,000. Okay. Purchased machine costing rupees 6,000. So here business has purchased machine. Okay. So what is happening? Machine is an asset. My asset is increasing. Okay, purchase machine for cash it is, right? So what is happening to my cash balance? It is declining. Cash is also a asset. Increase in asset should be debited. Okay, and what is happening to my cash balance? It is declining. Decline in asset should be credited. Decline in asset should be credited. So what is the journal entry? So machine account debit. Machine account debit to cash account. Machine account debit to cash account. What's the value of the machinery? Rupees 6,000. Okay. So what is the narration? Machine purchased for. Machine purchased. Machine purchased. This is the narration. Okay. Now moving on to the sixth transaction. Okay. Sixth transaction. So what is the transaction? Here goods returned by customer rupees 1,500 and cash refunded to him. Business had sold goods to some customers. They have returned those goods and business has refunded cash to them. It has paid the money back which it had received. For example, business had received 1,500 by selling goods to some customers. Now there are some defects in the goods. Now customers, they are returning those goods back. So what is happening to my goods balance? My goods balance is increasing. My goods is increasing. Right? There is a sales return. I had sold goods. It has come return. So my goods balance is increasing. What is happening to my cash balance? My cash balance is decreasing. What is happening to my goods? My goods balance is increasing. Okay, I cannot write goods here. What should I do? I should write the event name. What is the event? What is the reason for return of goods? There is a sales return. What it is? Sales return. Okay, so my goods are increasing. Increase in asset should be debited. My cash balance is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be credited. So what is the journal entry? Sales return account debit. Sales return account debit. Return account debit to cash account. To cash account. What is the value? 3,500. Okay. Sales return and cash refunded to customer. Sales return and cash refunded to customer. Okay. So this is the narration. Now moving on to the next. Okay, I'll rub off this. Six transactions are over. Now moving on to which transaction? Seventh transaction. What is the seventh transaction? Sangeeta withdrawn rupees 3,000 for personal use. Sangeeta withdrawn rupees 3,000 for personal use. So Sangeeta, she has withdrawn money. Okay, she is withdrawing money in the form of what? Withdrawn rupees 3,000 for personal use. Okay, for personal use. So what is happening to my cash here? My cash is decreasing. Okay, so she has withdrawn rupees 3,000. So due to this, what is her cash is my asset. Okay, she has withdrawn rupees 3,000. Due to this, what is happening to my capital balance? My capital balance is also what? It is decreasing. It is decreasing. I cannot write capital here. Whenever there is adjustment in capital, we have to write the reason for decrease in the capital. Whenever there is adjustment in the capital. Okay. So, due to payment of what it is, say Sangeeta, she has withdrawn money. Okay, out of the business for her personal use. Okay, due to this, what is happening? My capital balance is declining. My capital balance is declining. I cannot write capital here. I should write the reason for the decline in capital. What is the reason for decline in capital? Whenever owner, when she withdraws money out of the business, it is termed as what? Drawings. It is termed as what? Drawings. Okay, so here, see, listen here. So decrease in cash should be credited, and this is, it is declining my capital. Decline in capital should be debited. Debit decrease. Okay, so debit decrease. So what is the journal entry? Drawings account debit. Drawings account debit to cash account. Drawings account debit to cash account. What is the amount? 3,000. What is the amount? 3,000. Okay. Narration. Cash withdrawn for personal use. Cash withdrawn for personal use. Okay. This is the narration. Okay. Now moving on to the next journal entry. Okay, so what it is? Goods returned to Neeru rupees 3,200. Goods returned to Neeru. See the transaction. You had purchased goods from Neeru. See the second transaction. You have purchased goods from Neeru. Okay, in the second transaction. Now you are returning goods to Neeru. Business had purchased goods. So there are some damages in the goods. Goods are not into proper condition. So it is returning back those goods to Neeru. Business had purchased goods on credit from Neeru. So the goods condition, it is not proper. So business is returning those goods back. Okay. So what is happening? Goods is an asset. Neeru, you had purchased goods on credit from Neeru. Now what is happening? Neeru was your liability. So your liability is declining. By how much? Rupees 1,000, 3,200, sorry, 3,200. and you cannot write goods here. You should write the event name. Okay, what you are doing? You are return goods to Neeru. Means what? You had purchased, now you are returning back. That means what type of return this is? This is purchase return. What type of return this is? Purchase return. So what is happening to my goods? It is declining. Decline in asset should be credited. What is happening to my liability? Neeru is a liability. Decline in liability should be, decrease in liability should be debited. Decrease in liability should be debited. So what is the journal entry? Neeru account debit. Neeru account debit to purchase return account. Neeru account debit to purchase return account. What is the value? Rupees 3,200. Narration. Being goods returned to Neeru. Goods returned to Neeru. Okay, this is the narration. Okay, now moving on to the last journal entry. Paid wages rupees 1,000. Paid wages rupees 1,000. So what is this one? Capital plus liability equals assets. Paid wages. How you are paying wages? In the form of cash. What is happening to my cash balance? See, if I have not given this paid wages, add in the question. Add this in the question. Paid wages rupees 1,000. Add this in the question. This is the last transaction. So when you pay wages, what happens? Your cash balance declines. And what happens to your capital? Your capital will also decline. But I cannot write capital here. So what should I write instead? I should write the reason behind the decrease in capital. I should write the reason for the decline in capital. What is the reason? Wages. Wages. This is why my capital is declining. Decrease in capital should be debited. Okay, this is asset. This is decreasing. Decrease should be credited. So what is the journal entry? Wages account debit. Wages account debit to cash account. How much wages are paid? Rupees 1,000. Narration. Wages paid. Okay, hope you all have understood. So I want you to add this last transaction in your question. Okay, hope you all have understood. Thank you.